We're tracking him in an escape craft. There's one life form aboard.
That's him.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things you missed in Obi-Wan Kenobi, Episode 6.
Anakin.
For this list, we're looking at all the little details, callbacks, references, and so on that you might not have picked up on in the final episode of the Star Wars miniseries. If you haven't watched the episode yet, beware of spoilers. Anything else you caught? What did you think of the return of Qui-Gon Jinn? Let us know in the comments.
Come on, you've got a ways to go.
Number 10. Something you want to say? The Obi-Wan series has a long history of Star Wars to call back to. But now that we're at part 6, we suppose it's been long enough that the show can start calling back to itself. Way back in part 1, we catch up with Obi-Wan, who's found work packing up pounds of flesh from a deceased Nibre. When one of his co-workers quibbles about his compensation, the foreman, one Graf Ditcher, has a rather rude retort.
Something you want to say?
Not that we were dying to catch up with Ditcher, but here he is again cutting in line at a water stand.
Something you want to say?
If you're using the words something you want to say frequently in life, you're probably doing something wrong. Fortunately, Reva's there to put him in his place.
I have something to say.
Wait your turn. You can have what's left when I'm done.
Number 9. Hello there. If you've been watching our weekly recap videos, you may remember we commented on Obi-Wan's reluctance to say hello in part 3.
Father, aren't you going to say hello?
Hello.
This was particularly in relation to the specific words hello there being one of his iconic phrases, it being the first thing he says in A New Hope, and what he says to Grievous in Revenge of the Sith.
Hello there.
Well, worry no more, Leia and internet at large, because the Obi-Wan series finally gave us a proper hello.
Ben? You want to meet him?
After Obi-Wan spent a decade watching Luke grow, Owen Lars finally offers to let the two meet, and Obi-Wan's first words to the future Jedi are satisfyingly familiar.
Hello there.
Number 8. Call me Darth. Learning Anakin Skywalker was alive was a big deal for Obi-Wan on this show. But even more difficult for him to come to terms with is the fact that Darth Vader has taken his place. Still, it isn't until their duel in the final episode that Obi-Wan finally acknowledges Anakin is essentially dead.
Then my friend is truly dead.
He does this by now referring to him as Darth as he says goodbye.
Goodbye, Darth.
Seeing as there are a lot of Sith with the moniker Darth, it's not incredibly common for them to be colloquially addressed as such. But this is in line with what Obi-Wan calls Vader in what we assume to be their next confrontation in A New Hope.
Only a master of evil, Darth.
Number 7. The Reva-Tusken Raider Connection. When Owen Lars gets word of Reva coming for Luke, he initially lies to the young boy when telling him to hide, claiming that Tusken Raiders are prowling about.
The Tuskens are on the hunt again. They're raiding farms along the waste. So stay in here. If anything goes wrong, you know what to do. You run.
I'm not afraid.
I know. Everything's gonna be fine.
While Tuskens would be a logical geographic threat, the parallels become even more apparent when Reva actually shows up. After being forced out of his homestead, Luke flees to the nearby Beggar's Canyon. While it's not the Jundland wastes we see in A New Hope, he is forced to hide from Reva up along the ridges, much like he has to later from the Tuskens. It also looks like he doesn't get any better at hiding in the coming years, as here he's also discovered and promptly rendered unconscious. Number 6. Outfits. The Obi-Wan series has done a tremendous job of getting the characters to where they need to be narratively by the time A New Hope comes around.
Hello there.
While we initially weren't sure how much story there was to tell with Obi-Wan between episodes 3 and 4, the show definitely earns the narrative arcs it completes here. One signifier of this are the clothes Obi-Wan and Leia are seen wearing by Part 6's conclusion.
The future will take care of itself.
While any Star Wars fan could have recognized the threads Obi-Wan sports in his classic outing, fewer were perhaps as keen to Leia's outfit.
Is that a holster? I love it.
Sure, an all-white getup with her is nothing new, but this set specifically harkens to what she wears in her Age of Rebellion comic one-shot from 2019. Number 5. Obi-Wan's selflessness.
You've spent 10 years protecting the Jedi. This is my chance to return that favor.
But we're so close.
Roken, you know this plan makes sense.
No, we need you.
It'll buy you the time you need. You must get these people out of here. You are all the future. You are the future.
Obi-Wan sacrificing his safety for the safety of others has been a recurring theme in the miniseries, to say nothing of the Jedi Creed as a whole. But his decision to distract Vader away from the fleeing refugees particularly had us recalling A New Hope. There, he too entertains Darth Vader with a lightsaber duel long enough for the young heroes to escape aboard the Millennium Falcon. Speaking of that moment, Obi-Wan and Leia's final scene together in Part 6 has her asking if they'll ever see each other again.
Will I ever see you again?
Maybe. Someday. If you ever need help from a tired old man.
While she definitely asked the tired old man for help, she technically wouldn't see him again until his aforementioned sacrifice, which, considering the events of the show, she should probably be more affected by. Number 4. Vader's wheeze. We're all familiar with Darth Vader's breathing. It's become a staple of the character and something we dread hearing every time he enters a room. Obviously, that's always been consistent, but what we don't hear nearly as much is the wheezing sound that occurs when his breathing apparatus is damaged. Towards the end of his fight with Obi-Wan in Part 6, Vader's former master damages the life support system in the middle of his armor. Naturally, Vader's breathing becomes more labored, and we hear the wheezing sound in question. It's not a sound you soon forget, and we're sure plenty of Star Wars fans remembered hearing it after Luke beat down Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi. Number 3. Obi-Wan doing what he must.
Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan?
I will do what I must.
Then you will die.
With the advent of the Obi-Wan series, we now have a handful of iconic Obi-Wan Vader fights, one from each era of Star Wars. When the latter confronts the former on a rocky moon in this episode, the parallels to Revenge of the Sith become apparent. Namely, Obi-Wan's response to Vader's query is a direct callback to what he says on the fiery planet Mustafar.
I will do what I must.
You will try.
It seems like Obi-Wan has a few favorite phrases he likes to dish out when the moment calls for it. And while we're on the subject of their standoff pre-engagement, seeing Obi-Wan assume his classic fighting pose again is a real treat.
Attack, Kenobi.
Number 2. Who really killed Anakin?
A young Jedi named Darth Vader, who was a pupil of mine until he turned to evil, helped the Empire hunt down and destroy the Jedi Knights. He betrayed and murdered your father.
Among other things, Obi-Wan Kenobi has done an excellent job of recontextualizing key relationships in Star Wars. Take, for instance, how Obi-Wan breaks down to Luke the Anakin-Vader dynamic in A New Hope.
He ceased to be Anakin Skywalker and became Darth Vader. When that happened, the good man who was your father was destroyed. So what I told you was true, from a certain point of view.
While some fans, not to mention Luke himself, have criticized Obi-Wan's certain point of view, the series finale here shows where Obi-Wan's perspective originated.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Anakin. For all of it.
After Obi-Wan apologizes to his former Padawan, Vader assures him that he didn't kill the man formerly known as Anakin. Vader did.
You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did.
Does this let Obi-Wan off the hook for misleading Luke? Maybe not. But it at least shows that this is Vader's own take on things too. And who's Obi-Wan to argue? Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Vader's Scar. Obi-Wan's clash with Vader is epic to say the least, and seeing him go beast mode in the second half of it is everything we wanted. Much like how he damages Vader's breathing systems, Obi-Wan slashes open a gash in Vader's helmet, exposing his face in a very similar manner to what Ahsoka does in Rebels.
I won't leave you. Not this time.
Then you will die.
But less noticeable is perhaps the laceration Obi-Wan gives Vader atop his head. While this may look like any old wound, fans will notice it being in the exact same spot as the scar an unmasked Vader later sports in Return of the Jedi.
I'll not leave you here. I've got to save you.
You already have. Luke. You were right. You were right about me.
We didn't necessarily need to know how Vader got that scar, but learning it came from Obi-Wan in a pivotal moment is incredibly satisfying.
Anakin's gone. I'm what remains.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.